Now, in this one, it's an interesting one. See, in chapter 6, John tells us about a multitude of people that were following Christ. And they were following Christ because they were noticing that that he was healing people left and right. And they were seeing all those signs and wonders, all those miracles, and they were just after him. The reasoning, I don't know. We don't know. Nevertheless, they were there. So the gathering, we're talking about thousands of people. And they were in the outskirts of the city. And what Jesus did, he sat down, was teaching the people. And as he was teaching, he turns around. It was late. The people were hungry. And probably Jesus was hungry himself. He turns around and asks Philip, what are we going to do? All these people, are we just going to send them away, or are we going to give them some food? And Philip said, well, we don't have enough money. The money that we have, it's not going to be enough for everybody. But of course, the Bible tells us that Jesus knew exactly what he was going to do. As they were speaking, Andrew shows up, Peter's brother. He shows up and he says, well, there's this little boy, this boy that has just offered 5 loaves of bread. They were made out of barley, which means that's a poor man's food. So he has 5 of those and 2 fish. And this is what's so interesting. See, you have a little boy offering up everything, all the food that he had. And it's a poor man's food, so probably he was a poor boy, his family, his parents were poor, and he's offering up everything. There were thousands of people there. Nobody brought something. Nobody brought lunch. But Jesus knew exactly what he was going to do. So he asked everybody, go ahead, lie down. And asked the disciples, here you have, go around. And the food just multiplied. He was able to feed the entire multitude. And there were some leftovers even. Well, that same group of people, when they saw that what had happened, they said, wow, Passover is coming. It's probably several days away from now. And he is definitely the Christ, the man that we've been waiting for. We want to take him to Jerusalem and declare him as our king. And Jesus understood that. So that's why what he did was he just ran away from them. And then on that same chapter, John tells us, tells us the other sign, and then gives the explanation of this third sign. And he says, where Jesus comes and tells the multitude, after the multitude finds once again Jesus, and tells him, I am the bread of life. And he makes a connection with the Old Testament, that in the same manner than the Old Testament during the time of Moses, that people received the bread, manna, from the heavens. Jesus is the bread from heaven that has descended from heaven. And many people that were saying, what is he saying? He's telling us that he's coming down, but we know him. We know his dad. We know his mom. What is he saying? So many people left him. And besides, Jesus was telling me, well, you're here just because you want to be fed. You're here just because of your own purposes. You want to make me king. You want to focus on your own liberation. But you're not focusing, you're not understanding the kingdom of God, what I'm here for. You're not understanding that. If you could only see that. If you could only see that, because, see, the things that you've been doing, everything that it's about based on the flesh, that's not going to be helpful. What's the purpose of you focusing on something that it's not going to be everlasting? But if you focus on the plan that I have, that is eternal. And so some of them left, and then the small group of his disciples came to him, and Jesus says, what, are you offended too? Are you going to leave me just like the rest did? Do you want to do that? And then they respond saying, where are we going to go? Where are we supposed to go? You're the only one who has words of life. See, Jesus was very, very clear, telling us, don't focus, because it's so easy for us to focus and to seek God, to seek His grace, His mercy, and just for ourselves, for our own sake. Jesus here is telling us, if you could only understand my plan for you, which is eternal, focus in the spiritual things, not in the physical. God bless you.